I've heard and seen a lot of weird things, and I've also heard and seen a lot of weird people, and I'm very sure a lot of you would have too. Speaking of weird things, do you know that the first logo that was created for Apple was a picture of Isaac Newton sitting under a tree reading? The first logo of Apple. That shit is going to be very weird if it's still applicable till today. Speaking of weird people, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, or Emmanuel Macron, as my French friends say I should pronounce it because you have to emphasize the C and the R. Macron. Oh my god, pardon me if I don't pronounce it well. But what's weird about Emmanuel Macron? The fact that when he was 29, he married a 54-year-old lady. 54! That shit is very weird. 54, that's 24 years difference. And that is not the only weird thing about Emmanuel Macron. But before we go into what is weirder about him, my name is Olayeni Dear Kolola Daniels, popularly known as Dear Spectre, and this is another episode of Dear Talks Law. If this is your first time of visiting my channel, I want to say a very big welcome to you guys. Please make sure you click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that anytime I release a video which is going to be of interest to you, you'll be one of the first set of people to watch that particular video. Speaking of Emmanuel Macron and what is weirder about his marriage, and that is the fact that his wife, the 54-year-old woman, was his class teacher in secondary school, or high school as it is known in France, but secondary school in Nigeria. And that time she was only 39 when he was 15, and that was when he joined the secondary school, and it was about that time that he started dating. Not only was she 39 and he was 15 with a 24-year-old gap, she was also married to somebody else with 3 children when they were dating. How can that even work? God, when I was reading this story, I was like, no, this is weird. This is weird. I'm very sure that cannot even apply in Nigeria, or can it? I don't know. Let us discuss in the comment section below. But there is something that I always say: love always wins. Now, speaking of love, the opposite of that is what is currently going on in France today, and Islamophobia. Just yesterday, making it the 31st of October, a pope was shot twice. 2 days ago, 29th of October 2020, 3 people were shot in church. And some days ago, a class teacher was beheaded in class. And then the question then becomes, why are these things happening? For us to understand exactly why these things are happening, we have to go back to 2015. And what happened in 2015? A particular newspaper company in France decided to release a photo of Prophet Muhammad, a cartoon satire of Prophet Muhammad, which ridiculed Prophet Muhammad according to the Muslim community. And if there is one thing we should know from the Muslims, you can either insult them personally or beat them or do anything to them, but one thing: do not insult their religion, do not insult their prophet, especially Prophet Muhammad, and do not insult their Quran. Now, this particular newspaper in France decided to ignore all these things and print out pictures of Prophet Muhammad, and then this led to a particular uproar in France. It was so bad that gunmen entered Charlie Hebdo's newspaper company and then killed 12 satirists, one of France's best cartoon satirists, and they were killed on that same day in 2015.
On January 7th, masked gunmen attacked the offices of Charlie Hebdo in Paris. They killed 12 people and wounded at least 11 others. Charlie Hebdo is a satirical French weekly publication that is most known for its biting humor, and more specifically for a string of cartoons that it has published about Islam and the Prophet Muhammad.
And because of this, those 2 people that attacked this particular newspaper company were killed. However, some people were arrested. Some people that were connected to the crime were arrested as accessories after the fact or as accomplices to the crime. Trial was set to begin, but trial was set to begin 5 years after, which is 2nd of September 2020. And then in 2nd of September 2020, Charlie Hebdo decided to release these same pictures that caused wahala in 2015. And then Emmanuel Macron became the French president in 2017. Do not forget that the incident happened in 2015. And then people are looking forward to Emmanuel Macron to condemn this act perpetrated by the newspaper Charlie Hebdo. But unfortunately, this is what Emmanuel Macron said.
Nous défendrons la liberté que vous enseignez si bien et nous porterons haut la laïcité. Nous ne renoncerons pas aux caricatures, aux dessins, même si d'autres reculent.
So according to Emmanuel Macron, he is saying that France is a secular country and then there is freedom of expression. And it is based on this same freedom of expression that Charlie Hebdo is printing out this cartoon satire of the Prophet Muhammad. Please take note that it is not just Prophet Muhammad that is being ridiculed. Most times they ridicule people, especially important figures in the society, but they also at one point attacked the Pope. Do you understand? But you know, Christians do not react the way Muslims react, and that is the reason even when they attack the Pope, most people did not really say anything. And then what caused the most uproar is the fact that a class teacher, like I said earlier, was teaching freedom of expression in class and then decided to use that same cartoon satire of Prophet Muhammad in class while teaching. And that was why one Muslim got angry and decided to behead the teacher. I think personally that was too far to behead the person because the person used the cartoon satire of Prophet Muhammad. But I don't know. That's what I personally think. I think the person went too far. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. But guess what the president of France thinks? Like I said earlier, the president of France said that it is an attack on the country. And then he even said that this person who held the picture of Prophet Muhammad in the class was doing France a favor. How was he doing France a favor? According to him, he is saying that France is a secular country and therefore France cannot align with one religion or the other. But the problem here is not France aligning with a religion or the other. The problem here is France balancing freedom of expression and freedom of religion. When it comes to Charlie Hebdo's newspaper and the right to express, what I usually say is that the fact that you have a right to act does not mean your act is right. Oh, Jesus. Word. Okay, on a more serious note, the fact that you have a right to act does not mean your act is right. For your act to be right, you have to put it in a sociological context that makes it acceptable. Do you understand? Now, first understand that France has the highest number of Muslims in the whole of Europe, and then you have to make sure that the information that you are releasing to the public is such that it's not going to offend a particular religion. If it does offend a particular religion, then I think that you should be able to make amends whatsoever. But I want to know what you think about all these things that have been going on so far in France in the comment section below. I want you to tell me your opinion about right to freedom of religion and right to freedom of expression. Do you think that what Charlie Hebdo is doing is correct? Do you think that the Muslims have the right to shout and say, no, this is wrong? Especially when the Prime Minister of Turkey decided to call Emmanuel Macron a madman. Here's what he said.
Macron'un zihinsel noktada bir tedaviye ihtiyacı var. İnanç hürriyetinden, inanç özgürlüğünden anlamayan ve kendi ülkesinde yaşayan milyonlarca farklı inanç mensubu insanlara bu şekilde davranan bir devlet başkanına başka ne denilebilir? Öncelikle bir akli noktadan kontrol.
So according to him, he said Emmanuel Macron is a madman for not condemning this act. Also, Muslim communities around the French nation have decided to condemn this act, not only by words, but by action. So you can see that people are really angry by the way Emmanuel Macron is handling the situation. But Emmanuel Macron keeps saying that it is freedom of expression. But people are saying that they have a right to their religion. So I want to know what you are saying. Do you think that it's actually freedom of expression and Charlie Hebdo can do anything, or do you think that the Muslims actually have right to religion? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. My name is Olayeni Dear Kolola Daniels.